Well, Brandon, you've talked about how you all go into the offseason with a plan. To think about how all of these players, all this talent you've brought into this organization, how did you just completely execute the plan you all had, and probably even a little bit more?
Yeah, obviously none of this happens without amazing support from ownership, so that's step one, and then going out and doing I've said this before, but every offseason it's the same amount of work, and the number of players that you get obviously changes, but I do think it speaks to obviously the ownership support, but then this becoming a real destination and players wanting to come here because they feel strongly that this is their best place to win, but also that we're going to take care of them on and off the field. So it's cool to see the outcome of that is the A plan and the goal, and to see it come to fruition is great.
This past week we've seen all the players and being part of the community outreach, the community tour. How have you been seeing just all of these guys now come together?
Yeah, obviously amazing what they've been doing in the community, and to see the city of Los Angeles really galvanized to step up in this situation. But the players coming together is really cool, and especially ahead of spring training, and knowing that we brought in new guys, but the core group that has been here is still there, and they're going to help those guys assimilate and maintain that really strong clubhouse culture that helped us push it over the edge last year.
Brandon, we know the guys that you have signed. What about Clayton Kershaw? What's the status?
Yeah, we've been in touch with Clayton, and a lot of it's been seeing how he's feeling throwing before we pick up those conversations. So he is throwing, and he's starting to get into the swing of it. So our expectation is to have more conversations at an in-depth level here soon.
Do you expect that he'd be in spring training this year?
I would hope so, but we'll know a lot more as these conversations progress.
Has he given any thoughts online just for what he thinks could be positions for big league games?
I think a lot of it will just depend on how the throwing program goes, and making sure that he feels like he's set up for success. So those will all come out in hopefully the next few weeks.
I heard a Kiké chant from the crowd.
Yeah.
Is that still an option for you guys as you kind of look at final touches you want to put on the roster?
Yeah, obviously would never close the door to Kiké, and I think a lot of it is just making sure he and his family feel like it's the best position for him, and we'll have those conversations, but it's really what is the best thing for Kiké and his family from our standpoint.
Brandon, what was the most memorable moment for you this offseason, being recognized as a World Series champion?
Being on the parade and getting to do that with my wife and kids was really special. You have what you think is the parade is going to be like, and not having to experience it post 20 championship and getting it this year. I think it was that expectation was incredibly high, and it exceeded that, and it's something that I'll forever cherish.
Are you guys going to be limited in the spring? Just that's a Friday or like 100%?
Yeah, I mean, I think so much of it is once you get get guys in, kind of get our performance and medical group, get their hands on them. Obviously, we've been in contact with guys over the off season, but you never really know until you get there and into the swing of things. And we are always focused on the big picture and how things can affect the stretch run and into October. So we'll monitor that on the front end, and then just see how things play out. But if we have to slow guys down, we will, but hopefully we don't, and we can hit the ground running. It's just trickier with the early start.
I won't ask the bad for baseball question again, but when you guys do add the kind of talent you have this winter and even last year, do you get a sense from the guys that are here that that's a motivating thing for them? Obviously they want to win, but when you guys do bring in the kind of talent you do, can you gauge what the response is from guys and just how that impacts the players that are already here?
I just think they're really excited to get going and be part of a team that is incredibly talented, and the expectation for our group every year is to win the World Series, so that's no different this year than we talked about. We had the same conversation last year. So our guys will come in, and how you ultimately win a championship is focusing on the day-to-day little things, and I don't think that changes no matter what type of talent we have.
Last question.
Brandon, are you at the point in the offseason where you decided to sit down and
Yeah, we've been in contact with Dave, and we always keep those conversations private, so when we have something to announce, we'll certainly let you guys know.